How can we tackle the sharp decline in belief in climate change in the UK, particularly given that scientifically there's a window of about 5 years?
Well, we can't go faster than the public. We can try to lead, we can try to explain where science has got to and what the implications are. I was involved in one of the first ever reports on climate change back in 1988-89, which was presented to Commonwealth Prime Ministers, and I helped to write it. And it was that persuaded me there was a serious problem. We're talking over 20 years ago. But what persuaded me was that the scientists were very rigorous and very careful in not claiming too much. I mean, we're after all, when we talk about man-made climate change, we're not talking about a fact, we're talking about a scientific hypothesis, albeit, one that has got a lot of evidential support. And it does seem to me that once scientists lose that understanding and they start treating this as kind of overstating the case and not being clear about the margins of error and the uncertainties, then science itself gets into disrepute. And one of the real worries I have at the moment is that a case that's been very, very carefully built up by rigorous scientists over 2 to 3 decades is now been in danger of being lost, partly because of malice, vested interests and others trying to puncture a hole in this for their own selfish reasons, but partly because some of the people trying to persuade the public about climate change have overstated the case, have overstated the certainty. And the problem here, I think, is that the climate change campaign is a, you could call this an elite project. It's amongst a small number of educated, well-informed people. And it depends utterly on people having complete trust in scientists. And if that trust is weakened, it's impossible to make the case. So I think in order to claw back the ground that's been lost, and a lot of ground has been lost, particularly in the United States, but to some extent here, we have to build up and make the case to people in a very rigorous way with proper qualifications, get people's trust. Without trust, nothing can be done.